Hello, cinephiles, and welcome to Silver Screen Sips, a podcast where three idiots talk about movies. And today we will be discussing Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. Just a reminder that there are spoilers ahead for movies and TV shows that you may not have seen yet, although you really should have at this point. We just know you've
Unless
been
you're
warned.
Isaiah.
Unless you're Isaiah. Speaking of Isaiah,
Hi.
we have a special announcement from him in just a moment, but we also want to make sure you guys stick around till the end for some very important news. Now, take it away, Isaiah.
Now start the violin. Where's the world's tiniest violin? Okay, I'm gonna start that right now. Anyway, as some of you may know, I've been a manager at a movie theater for quite some time. However, as of the release of this episode, it will be coming out the day after all of this goes down. I've been unexpectedly laid off, and my theater was closed with very short notice. So I just would like to take this moment to thank all the people that I worked with who made it such a great place to work at. The bonds and memories we made together will stay with me forever. And I hope to stay in contact with as many of you as possible. And in the words of our former boss, I'll miss most of you. And it's been a pleasure to work with you all.
Aww.
Thank you.
Aww.
Sorry, I had to. That reminds me of a line that a coworker of mine always says at the end of every shoot we're on.
Yes.
It's my favorite part of the day, and I can't wait to hear it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
He'll make sure we're all gathered around. He'll be like, I just want to say I've worked with a lot of great people in my life. And then he'll look at every single one of us and he goes, all right, I'll see you guys later. That's it. And we're like, oh, okay.
Okay.
We're not those people.
Yeah. Anyways, yes, Isaiah, we are sorry about your layoff. If you want, Isaiah is starting an OnlyFans account, so you can go follow him.
Yeah.
It'll support.
Be onlylose.com.
Yes. Oh, wow. What a throwback.
Onlylose.com.
All right. So
I've also been a friend of mine is teaching me how to do how to build a website. So
you are starting an OnlyFans.
Maybe one day.
Maybe you will.
No, maybe one day we'll get to the domain of onlylose.com and have
yes,
some fun with it.
We do have the other domain for Silver Screen Sips, but we don't have a website to go with it yet.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
We're geniuses. What's the website?
silverscreensips.com, I think.
And if I look this up, am I just going to get a blank page?
Probably.
Wow, 404 not found.
Beautiful.
I can now do stuff.
Now, why don't we jump on into our first segment of today's episode? Lewis,
this
take it
week.
Oh,
that was a great transition, but then
fucked it up. I was so close. Okay, sorry.
It's okay. No, it's my fault. I should have waited till
we'll cut this part out, which we actually won't, but we will, and we'll just act like it didn't happen, and it'll sound smooth. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot what I said. Wait. Why don't we kick off today's episode with our first segment?
This week in Hollywood.
That was not at all what I said the first time around, but it was close enough.
Never gonna work.
But
anyways,
okay. At this point. So, Beth, start us off.
Yes, gladly. So the box office continues to gain traction as the summer season approaches. The Super Mario Bros. Movie, still haven't seen it, remains a beast in the box office as it crossed $872 million globally and is still climbing. The movie continues to make history, superseding Jurassic World at $46.4 million to rank as Universal's biggest third weekend in history. Meanwhile, the new Evil Dead Rise film opened to a big $23.5 million domestically, and I plan on seeing it this weekend, so I will definitely have to talk about it next week.
Whopping $23.5.
Whopping.
On a budget of $15 million, so they're already in the profit.
You're
margin.
Already in the plus sign. Yep.
Plus sign, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Isaiah?
Yeah.
Hurry up. Get me out of this.
We're gonna sit in the silence and stew in it a little bit longer.
That is a positive number. That is a gain.
There you
23.5. Hey!
Anyway, get ready for some Disney drama. Here's the tease.
Drama.
Never do that again, please.
Okay, the next two headlines, we knew big Disney layoffs were coming once Iger took over. Iger? Igor?
Iger, I hardly know her. Sorry, that was awful.
Took over and announced in February that 7,000 jobs were to be cut from across the company. Now that time is here. Starting April 24th, Disney will lay off 4,000 employees. A smaller round of layoffs began in March, and a third round will bring the company to a total of 7,000 by the beginning of summer. Iger found it necessary to steer Disney in a different and better direction. Well, that's, depending on if who got fired or not. That meant reorganizing the company into three segments: Disney Entertainment, ESPN, and Parks Experience and Products, thus resulting in the layoffs.
Iger has been known to be like the most successful second to Walt Disney himself. So maybe what he's doing is good, but yeah, we'll bring him on the show and we'll ask him ourselves.
Well,
Lewis.
on that note, we're on the second headline of Disney drama.
That was terrible. I did better.
I know you did it better.
Isaiah was gay better than you.
I know, and that was my intention.
That's ironic. Very ironic.
It is ironic.
It's
But anyway,
ironic.
for those of you who may know, Disneyland has a 45-foot tall dragon through which they display.
What?
That
Wow.
was not words.
Disneyland
How
has
tall?
a 45-foot tall dragon through which they display their Phantasmic show.
There it is.
However, on Saturday, April 22nd, which you may have seen this as it was a viral video, the dragon caught fire late during a show in California's park, causing those in attendance to flee. Luckily, no injuries or deaths were reported.
I wonder if our friend Skylar was there. I'll have to ask him because
How traumatizing was it for you to witness the death of a dragon?
how tall of a dragon?
45 foot.
45 foot. I don't know why. I'm in gremlin mode today. I apologize.
His dick must be massive.
Whoa. What?
Overall,
Did you hear that, Lewis? Or was that just me?
I
Is
didn't
there
hear
something
that
in my
because I was
ear?
yawning.
he goes,
What did he say?
because his dick must be huge. Anyways, let's keep this Disney ball rolling, shall we? So we've kept you guys up to date on the upcoming Lilo and Stitch movie. Now, the latest update has Chris Sanders, the original voice for Stitch, who also co-directed the original movie, back at it again in the live action film as none other than the little blue alien. However, he's not going to be co-directing the film this time around. Now, there is also the confirmed cast so far, because there's been a lot of rumors going around as to who's playing who. But according to IMDb, so this is the official, unofficial, official cast.
Okay.
Zach Galifianakis.
None of us can
Okay.
speak today.
Gremlin mode. Zach Galifianakis
There
is
you go.
voicing Jumba.
I see
Billy
it.
Magnuson, I think is how you say it, is playing Pleakley. And Courtney B. Vance is now Cobra Bubbles. Originally, it was a woman, but then there was so much backlash that they actually recasted, I believe. Someone is highlighting Courtney B. Vance to Google to see who that is. I can see that right now.
Isaiah.
He's the lawyer from Law and Order.
I mean, it's pretty fitting. Who was it that you said should be Cobra Bubbles, Lewis? Because yours was really accurate.
Anthony Clark Duncan, but he's no longer with us, so
Yeah, I wish. That would have been beautiful.
he would have. I think he would have been like the perfect casting.
Wasn't that who it was based off of? Or am I mistaken? Like Cobra Bubbles is based off of an actual actor, but I can't remember the name.
I mean, I could think of one other person he could be based off of, but
I said Samuel L. Jackson, Isaiah.
For Bubbles?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't argue it.
I
don't
mean, mainly
agree.
just I think of like the Nick Fury version, you know?
Okay, but why
Yeah,
don't we just
like
why don't we just get the actual voice actor, Ving Rhames, to do it? Because come on.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
would make sense. Yeah,
Because that would make sense. That's why.
Ving Rhames would actually be another perfect fit apart from Anthony Clark Duncan because it actually looks like him. So
You know his name is Michael Clark Duncan, right? Not Anthony.
Oh, shitty fucking dicks. Oh, so on to the next one, Isaiah. That would be... Oh, no, I'm still going. So anyways, yeah. Courtney B. Vance as Cobra Bubbles. They're currently filming the movie in Hawaii as we speak, and it's intended to debut on Disney Plus in May of next year. So, guess we'll wait.
Okay. I guess we're waiting.
Guess so. I'm out of breath.
YouTuber Markiplier is set to write, direct, and star in a film adaptation of the horror video game Iron Lung. The movie has started production in Austin, Texas, and will be funded by Markiplier himself. The film will also star Caroline Rose Kaplan. We will update everyone once we get more info, and that's all we kind of really know for now. However, no one believed the creator of the game someone had tweeted at him, was like, hey, when's the movie coming? And then he actually responded with late 2023, Markiplier will be starring. And then no one believed him. And then about a week ago, we get this news headline. And then everyone was like, oh, he was right.
I can't really think of a lot of I can think of a lot of YouTubers that have turned into like actors. Markiplier, I feel like, is one of those YouTubers that I respect. And there's very few. I just feel like he doesn't have a lot of drama behind him, unless I'm missing something. So, I'm all for it.
I think he's one of the few ones that doesn't carry a whole shit ton of drama with his name.
Now,
True.
Quick little side tangent. Isaiah, were you in the class back in film school? Were you in the class with us where we had to watch Shane Dawson's movie?
Yes.
Were we in the same class though, or did you just have to do it in a separate one?
I feel like we were separate, but we both watched. Yeah, because I watched it the semester before you, and you kept on like saying things, and I just have to say it gets worse.
Dude, it's so bad. Yeah, Shane Dawson has a movie, Lewis, like a legitimate feature film, and it is god awful.
We don't talk about it.
The whole point why we had to watch it was for the cinematic feature. No, I'm just kidding. It was a like comparison between. It was supposed to be like this documentary about this woman, forget her name, making a feature film, and then Shane Dawson making a feature film. And they're two complete opposites, personality wise, work approach wise, and everything. And so we were supposed to kind of like watch how both of them tackled the film process, like
the way she just explained that, she kind of butchered it. So I'm gonna go better. I'm gonna do better at it. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
It's an HBO documentary TV show called like The Chair or something like that. And the idea is that one guy wrote a script, and then two different people were given the script, and they were to direct their own version
right.
of. Shane Dawson got one, and then another girl got one. I forgot the name of the movie that she made, but basically his came out, and the only reason why I remember it is because it is so god awful. And the only reason, and it was basically a competition to be like, oh, whoever wins the competition of having like not the better movie, but like. I guess the parameters were like box office score, ratings, and the money they brought in. Of course, Shane Dawson has like an audience, so all the crazy teenagers went and saw the movie. So he won just on that merit alone, which kind of sucks. Now,
because the girls' movie was not bad.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't the greatest, but in
comparison, way
it's a
better.
masterpiece. It's a Christopher Nolan movie, if to the other one. So.
Martin Scorsese is quaking, as they say.
If he saw both of them, he would have said the second one is cinema.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, that was a little side tangent that is not important to this podcast, so we'll cut it out. Anyways, Lewis, on to the last headline, please.
We're going to wrap up This Week in Hollywood with a headline about a vast collection of Star Wars memorabilia, from action figures to key rings, a space helmet, and even an original script being gathered over the years by the actor who played the bounty hunter Boba Fett, going up for auction. Mr. Jeremy Bulloch died at the age of 75 from complications relating to Parkinson's disease, and part of the proceeds of this auction will be going to Parkinson's UK. Bulloch's collection was so extensive that it had to be split in two. In May of last year, the first part made £155,000, which is equivalent to almost $200,000 US.
It's just the first part too.
He's got another 200K coming.
Yeah,
Maybe.
at least. Well, he passed away, so he's not getting money.
His estate has another
Yeah.
20.
Right. Anyways, that concludes This Week in Hollywood. You can find all of our sources cited on our Discord channel. And so,
We're going to go on to everyone's actual favorite segment,
yes,
Big Lou's Big Brews.
I fucking need a drink. Actually, I'm having wine right now, but I just finished it. So,
That explains the behavior.
no, the wine is taming me down, honestly.
I could use a drink.
I need more chaotic
Anyway.
energy. I
What do
need
you
more
got?
chaotic energy.
Mm-hmm.
So get me drunk, Lou. Let's go.
Today, I have a drink that we're actually going to rate, and I have a drink that I found in the process of trying to have this page come back up that I'm going to give an honorable mention, as they are from the same blog.
I love a good blog.
So we are referring here to a blog known as the Foul Mouth Gourmet. You can find them at foulmouthgourmet.com. They have, I believe, 37 or so drink recipes of different styles and different ideas. But we have the Balrog of Morgoth Margarita.
Ooh, that's
Isn't
pretty.
that cool? Yeah,
I like that.
I do too. So,
That's pretty.
quick side tangent relating both to the ending of the first film and the first scenes in the second film, specifically with reference to the Balrog. It was known as Durin's Bane, being that it lived in the halls of Durin. And it is also featured in, I believe, in Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. You actually get to fight one.
Really?
Hell yeah, brother.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it was in Shadow of War, like the sequel. But I'm not sure if it might have also been featured in the original. Either way, I did remember there was one like main mission where you actually have to fight a Balrog, and I'm like, that's fucking what? It's one of those, I guess, timed sequences, and you have to do like a specific attack and all this other stuff to like.
Oh, I'm terrible at that.
But it's not like one of those traditional fights where you can like actually swing a sword at it and like dodge it and shit like you would in I don't know, say
Dark Souls,
Elden Ring or Dark Souls. Yeah.
Could you imagine? Let's just hold this out for a second. Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Lord of the Rings game.
I mean, I'm sure you could just mod Elden Ring and introduce like Balrogs and orcs and all these other things. But anyway, we're gonna jump into our drink. So we have a shiny, glittery, shimmering, and sly. The monster leaves a tendril of smoke as it climbs from the depths of Moria. Grab your swords, company. We're in for a battle. Or just grab a friend. No battles, just good sips. You're in for a good time when a cocktail involves lighting shit on fire.
Hell yeah, let's go.
What's in the glass, you ask? Smoky mezcal, tequila, pomegranate juice, apple cider, and a bit of maple. Not fancy ingredients, just damn good when shaken together, and the loveliest blood red shade.
Pretty simple.
Definitely don't need Halloween as an excuse to toast with this drink. Just a nice coincidence, really, because he originally released this around the time of Halloween. So we have 3 tablespoons of sugar.
Wow.
1 tablespoon of cinnamon. Or sorry, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. That's way too much.
Is this the cinnamon challenge?
That's a very, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I apologize.
Do not do a teaspoon. 1/2
ounce of lime juice. 1 to 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, or to taste, 1 ounce of pomegranate juice, 2 ounces of apple cider, 1.5 ounces of tequila, 1/2 ounce of smoky mezcal. And for your garnishes, you'll have some apple slices, rosemary sprigs, and cinnamon sticks. The final ingredient, which is optional, you can acquire some edible gold glitter. And you'll only add about 1/4 teaspoon to the drink.
Okay.
Your first step will be putting together your sugar and cinnamon, running a lime wedge around the rim of a cocktail glass, which is a neat trick for when you, if your bartender has already put away their usual salt rimming. I forget what it's called.
Or they don't know how to rim.
Dip and swirl the rim of your cup and shake off the excess. In a cocktail shaker, you're going to combine your lime juice, maple syrup, pomegranate juice, apple cider, tequila, mezcal, and your edible gold glitter if you're using any. And you're going to add ice and shake it until it's cold. You'll then pour this into your prepared cocktail glass. and garnish with apple slices, a cinnamon stick, and a sprig of rosemary. As far as the smoldering garnish, if you'd like to create the smoky effect, use your kitchen torch to carefully ignite the cinnamon stick and or the rosemary. If either one actually catches a flame and isn't just kind of singed, blow it out immediately and enjoy the smoke. And of course, don't put this near anything flammable.
Now
Aw.
burn your house down. If you're not burning your house down, what are you doing?
Right, exactly.
Step 3, burn your house down.
Step 3, pour the gasoline.
Step 4, and collect your insurance money.
What do we think, guys?
5 out of 5. This sounds delicious.
Wow. 5 out of 5 from Isaiah.
That's a rare one from Isaiah, yeah.
A rarity.
A rarity. I also, 5 out of 5 for collecting insurance.
I think I will give it a 4 out of 5. Maybe a 4.5. It looks amazing. I'm not a huge tequila fan, but I do like margaritas, so I might be okay with this. That's purely the reason why I'm kind of giving it a 4.5 is just because like tequila and I just don't mix super well. And I have a feeling Lewis is going to say the same thing. And that's why his rating is probably going to be a lot lower, but I could be wrong. I like the burning the little cinnamon stick. I like that little touch. Yeah. I mean, it looks good.
So Beth is right that tequila and I don't mix well. However, for this drink, I'd make the exception because this actually sounds like a good margarita I'd have, but probably only like a couple, if I had any.
One to try.
Yeah, I would say this is actually a 5 out of 5 for me as well, just for
Exceed my expectations.
the creativity and the effect and all these other things that he incorporated to make sure that it really matches the theme he was going for.
Yeah.
And then I'm not going to actually get into this drink. However, I am going to throw the link in our Discord if you guys want to check it out. This is called the Erebor Gold Fashioned. This just gets an honorable mention for the day. I'm not really going to go dive into this. I just thought of this because Erebor is at the end of the Two Towers.
That looks fancy as well, but that one looks a gold fashioned.
Okay.
But remember to check out the Foul Mouth Gourmet food and drink blog.
Yes.
Also note that the top of his website says food that gives no fucks.
Yeah, baby.
Hell yeah, brother. But that concludes my contribution today to Big Lou's Big Brews.
I have a story to tell about glitter.
Oh boy.
Oh no. Where did you find it?
No. It was on Reddit of all places. No, I'm just kidding. One of my crew. Yeah, Ian, I'm calling you out in this one. This man, so for the drinks for the movies that came out, we would have custom made drinks, right? So for Avatar, it was this drink, I forgot what it was called, but basically it was this in this tall glass. It was nice and blue. It used blue carousel and stuff like that. I think it was like Tito's and blue carousel. And on top of it, you would have this little edible blue glitter. And we obviously were out of the drink because it's been, 6 months since the movies come out. And this man found the glitter and he goes, "Hey, watch this." He pours a bunch of it in his hands, throws it in the air, and then walks through it.
Oh, God.
And next thing you know, the back of concessions where all of the food is, there's just glitter everywhere.
Oh, my
And
God.
you're walking, and then I think one of my other managers comes up by and he goes, "Why is it like sparkling in the air?"
This is all alleged.
Alleged.
No, he did it. He did it.
He's doxing.
I mean, I'm going to tell him I just mentioned him in this episode.
So it sounds like a pretty high rated drink overall. 4.5 and 2 5s? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that a 5.75 average?
Sure.
4.75
No.
average?
Yeah. That I was about to say. That's not possible. Yeah, that's a pretty high rated drink. Definitely, if you guys are interested in trying it, it sounds super easy to make. And I think I have almost all those ingredients myself. So definitely go check it out. You can go to foulmouthgourmet.com, or you can even go to our Discord channel where you can find all of our drinks from all of our past episodes in case you want to try any of those out too. Like if you want to cut down a pine tree. Thank you for the drink, Lewis.
You're welcome.
I liked that one a lot.
I did too.
It wants a drink.
No, I think she doesn't like the rain.
5 out of 5 drink, 0 out of 5 rain.
we'd like to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's episode, Shaker and Spoon.
Shaker and what?
Spoon! It's a monthly subscription service that gives you bar-quality recipes and ingredients designed by award-winning mixologists. If you'd like your very own subscription, then head over to shakerandspoon.com and use our promo code SIPS10, SIPS10, to get $10 off your first subscription.
$10.
Again, that's promo code SIPS10, SIPS10 to get $10 off. Shaker and Spoon.
None of us can speak today.
Actually, I have been able to speak all day.
Okay, yeah, sure. Out of all three of us, you're the one I don't believe. This man, I swear, if you guys texted Isaiah, this man has the hardest text messages to decipher sometimes.
Yeah, I got to keep you on your toes, you know?
I'll have to think about it. Sometimes I'll send it to Jacob. I'm like, can you fucking decode this? Because I can't. Anyways, so we're going to take a fun little quiz, which I'm going to drop the link in our Discord. So if any of you guys want to take this quiz, we'll have it in our show notes. This quiz is, what Lord of the Rings race are you? Now, I already took this quiz to save some time for the three of us. And I got Hobbit, which I think is very accurate. So,
She's short.
Shut the fuck up.
Nice.
I'm sensitive too. Anyways, let's begin. Okay, Big Lou.
Big low.
Here is your first question. As an adventurer, what do you look more forward to? Friendships or glory?
Friendship.
Lame. If you could keep your memories, and reincarnate, but can only live for 50 years, are you willing to do so?
Sure.
That was not confident.
Yeah. Do you want me to repeat it, or did you understand the question?
No, I understood the question. I was just
Okay.
like, sure. Yeah,
Okay.
why not?
Which place would you pick for an adventure? Which sounds the most pleasing. The Valley of the Ratan Wind. The Well of Gods and Demons. I'm trying to say it like Galadriel. The Tomb of the Black Dragon. Or the Pasture of the Storm.
Could you do it the next one like Elrond?
Yeah.
The Tomb of the Black Dragon.
Okay. Do you feel anxious for not fitting in a group? That's my Elrond.
Okay.
No.
Okay. In responding to your friends or making a comment on the internet, you are always A, very carefree and write whatever comes to mind, or B, you're in deep thoughts and consideration before pressing send. I can tell you, Isaiah just fucking writes whatever comes to mind. So I text messages make no sense.
It varies sometimes, but mostly I think I'm in deep thought.
I can tell you already, you and I answered very opposite questions, or answers. This following quality describes you best. A, you're very alert to your surroundings. B, you're a fearless warrior. C, you're peaceful and generous. Or D, you're cautious and down to earth.
I said I think C.
Peaceful and generous?
Yes.
Generous. I still got that Elrond in me. Okay. Do you agree with this point of view? Yes or no? Social gathering is a necessary way in developing interpersonal relationships. Wow, I cannot speak. Shit.
Yeah, I would agree.
Are you more confident with your leadership skills than your execution skills? Yes or no?
Execution skill.
As of now, you are most lacking in A, self-discipline, B, we're getting fucking therapeutic in here, B, self-knowing, C, the pursuit of beauty, or D, good interpersonal relationships.
Self-discipline.
Okay, self-discipline. In most cases, do you choose to forgive people who have hurt you or even forget what has happened?
Yes.
Good for you. Not Sam. I hold a grudge like a motherfucker. In completing a task, you tend to A, complete it on your own, or B, work as a team.
Completed on my own.
Same. Last question. If you could speak a language of any animal, which one would you choose? Dog, elk, whale, or owl?
Owl.
Oh, Lewis. Oh, this is so accurate. You're, wow, accurate. Oh my God, Lewis, this is so accurate. Sorry, I was trying to recreate that moment. You're a dwarf.
I am a dwarf.
You are a dwarf. So you're courageous and you never give up. Big
Aw.
fucking Lou.
Big fucking move. Yeah, someone once told me I was a hobbit in college.
Nah.
Or he said I had hobbit feet. I think is what his specific
What an
choice
insult.
was. It wasn't an insult.
The reason why you're a dwarf is you are competitive, stubborn, and controlling.
Mm.
You never allow yourself to rest and always going forward. Therefore, you can always achieve what others cannot.
Yeah, I'm Thorin Oakenshield is what it sounds like.
See, Gimli is on the screen, and I think you fit Gimli better.
That's also fair. I mean, I'm the son of one of the merry.
And my ox. Nobody throws a dwarf.
Of one of those 13 dwarves from The Hobbit. So, remember when he's like, "Who is this? Your wife?" He's like, "That's my wife." And what about this ugly creature? That's my son.
Oh yeah. My favorite was actually from The Two Towers, where Gimli's trying to talk to that Eowyn, and she's like, or he's like, no one knows about female dwarves or whatever. And then she looks back at Aragorn, and he's just like, "It's the beards." I was like, yeah, that was a good moment, funny moment. Let's take a guess. What do we think Isaiah is? Because I had a feeling it's pretty obvious Lewis was going to be a dwarf.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm an orc because I'm ugly.
Well, let's not
I'll just
be
say you're a
rude to
goblin.
ourselves. I was gonna be nice and just say like a standard man.
I am human.
Yeah,
Man flesh.
The design is very human.
I just think you're a man. Either a man. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so Isaiah, as an adventurer, you look more forward to friendships or glory?
Glory. Nah, friendships.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Well, hold on. Now I gotta go back. If you could keep your memories and reincarnate, but only live for 50 years, would you do it?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Damn. All right. Which place would you pick for an adventure? The Valley of the Rattan Wind, the Well of Gods and Demons, the Tomb of the Black Dragon, or the Pasture of the Storm?
The Well of Gods and Demons.
Hmm.
I'm gonna fight God.
Do you feel anxious for not fitting in a group?
Sure.
And how does that make you feel? Anxious?
It makes me sad.
Lewis, get in there. That's your job now. Almost.
Almost.
In responding to your friends or making a comment on the internet, which one are you? Do you remember the answers?
Very carefree and write whatever comes to mind and deep thoughts in consideration before pressing send. We're gonna go with carefree because let's be honest, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. This following quality describes you best. Very alert to your surroundings, fearless warrior, peaceful and generous. Wow, I can't say that word. Generous, or cautious and down to earth.
Very alert of my surroundings.
That is accurate. Do you agree with this point of view? Social gathering is a necessary way in developing interpersonal relationships.
I agree.
That's a big word for Elmo. Are you more confident with your leadership skills than your execution skills?
Yeah, sure.
As of now, you are most lacking in
Self-discipline.
okay, self-discipline. You're able to get that one down.
Yes.
In most cases, do you choose to forgive people who hurt you or even forget what has happened?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Damn, guy's making me feel bad. I fucking slapped the mouse on no. In completing a task, slapped. In completing a task, you tend to complete it on your own or work as a team.
Work as a team.
Woohoo, teamwork. And if you could speak any language of, or a language of any animal, which one would you choose? Dog, elk, whale, or owl?
Dog.
Dog. Hey, you're a hobbit like me.
We're from the Shire.
You're definitely Sam. No, you and I are Merry and
this
Pippin.
podcast on my back, just like this man carries Frodo.
Whoa.
This man carries the
You
whole
just gonna
movie.
take that, Lewis? Are we
Yeah.
just gonna take that?
Yeah, we are.
So I'm gonna read this one so that we know what Isaiah and I's were. So we are small stature and carefree, and
Hey, I'm 5'6". That's the national average.
we are kind, peaceful, strong-minded, friendly, and cause no harm. We are a magical magnet attracting everyone's attention. I don't know about that one, but thanks. Okay.
Wow.
Oh man, we would throw the fucking best parties, man. That's all I'm saying.
Bangers.
Anyways, you can, if you guys want to take this quiz for yourself, you can go ahead and leave a comment in our Instagram on our latest post saying what you got as your answer just by joining our Discord. Literally, the click of a button, go to our link tree, which is in our Instagram bio, and literally just join. Takes 2 seconds, and you can get all of this info that we talk about that you can't visually see because this is an audio podcast.
What she
I
said.
think that convinced them. I think they're doing it right now as we speak. Alrighty, Isaiah.
Alrighty, Beth. Let's get to some facts. Facts. We're going to start off with Alan Lee, who is one of the concept artists and one of the people who helped make this movie. When he joined the project in late 1997, Helms Deep was the first structure he was tasked to design at a 135.
Oh, dear God.
What?
What a task to be given right away.
Oh,
like that. Like to just be like, oh, all right, you're hired. So you're going to create the critical part of this movie. Good luck.
Have fun. Yeah, so he built it at a 135 scale. It was one of the first miniatures built for the film and was part of the 45-minute video that sold the project to New Line Cinema. When they were trying to sell the trilogy idea to New Line, they showed them like a 45-minute reel, and in it was the Battle of Helms Deep. And it was also used in the film for the wide shots. And then Jackson also used the miniature to plan out the battle using 40,000 toy soldiers.
Aww. He's just playing with his toys.
Just the thing about Peter Jackson, which mad respect to this man. He also does a lot of storyboarding. So a lot of his stuff is just storyboarding. Sometimes he'll just start storyboarding without a script so that you can visually see what the hell's going to happen before any of the script is actually written down.
God bless him.
Yeah. It's wild. Now, next, Weta made 100 elven suits of armor, and Peter Lyon, who I don't know what his official title is going to be, but I'm going to call him the swordsmith. Or what do you call it? The blacksmith. He's the blacksmith. The blacksmith of the movie.
Propsman or swordsman or something. I forget what it's called.
Well, no, because, he forged all the swords that the elves used, which also took 3 to 6 days to make each single one of them.
That's crazy.
So that's literally a sword every 3 to 5 business days.
Damn.
Next, some more forced perspective was done for Gimli. When he was far away, the camera would have another actor play him, which I believe was a smaller actor. And then when he got to camera, the smaller actor would leave frame, and then Gimli would then enter frame as the accurate size of the person based on whatever they were doing. We get to the most famous fact. Did you know?
Did you know Aragorn broke his toe?
Did you know that when Viggo Mortensen kicks the helmet when being angry that he thinks Pippin and Merry are dead, he actually breaks 2 of his toes. One, his big toe shattered. Congratulations.
No, I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was. There's a picture of it. It is disgusting. It does not look okay. Well, there's your famous fact. I know you've been waiting for that one for a while. Now, during the battle with the wargs, Orlando Bloom fell off his horse, and Gimli then fell on top of him, cracking his ribs, for which Orlando Bloom complained for weeks, which led the cast to tease him forever. I believe for like 2 days straight, he kept on talking about pain in his ribs. So Peter Jackson or someone called him the walking wounded.
Oh man,
because he just wouldn't shut up.
No one's talking about that, but everyone's talking about Aragorn breaking his toes.
You don't want to give Orlando Bloom his pity moment?
Credit.
The elf spirit journey after the wolf attack was added. It was added by Peter Jackson because he thought the movie was getting boring and he wanted to add something to it.
Really? Because that made it more boring, in my opinion.
What, is a random morgue attack?
No, I meant the elf part.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know.
Wait, were you saying the elf part was added or the morgue attack was added?
Both, I guess.
Oh.
Now, here we go for the big chunk of this movie. The Battle of Helms Deep took 120 days to film. 90 of them were at night in the rain, and when it wasn't raining, they would dump thousands of gallons of water onto 20,000 extras. As a result, they shot about 20 hours of footage, with only 40 minutes of it making it into the final film.
Damn. Imagine being the editor. Ugh.
Oh my God. Oh, wait till there's some facts in the next movie. There had to be a team of editors because that is the amount of footage they have. My God.
Oh, yeah.
Pull an Avatar, come out with a 9-hour cut. Movie. During the battle, one of the orcs whacked Viggo Mortensen in the face, with Peter Jackson saying, and his front tooth snapped off at the root, and it literally broke in half and fell on the floor in front of him.
Oh.
Just another day at work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a 1/4 scale miniature of Helm's Deep that ran about 50 feet wide was used for the forced perspective shots, as well as the major explosion sequence that takes place in the movie. Fun times. The forest that Merry and Pippin go through with Treebeard is actually a miniature set built in a studio, and then they were added in post. If full size, it would have covered about 1.5 acres.
Jeez.
And what's crazy, if you can go behind the scenes, the metal skeleton of Treebeard is kind of weird to look at. They also made like giant eyeballs, which are also kind of really weird to look at.
Creepy.
But in the hands, after they covered him in tree bark and stuff like that, there's actually a seat for Merry and Pippin to sit on in his hands, so that,
nice and cozy.
Yeah, but they didn't think it was comfortable. There's a video of Billy Boyd sitting down on the seat, and then as he starts moving, he goes, oh, "That's not comfortable." Because hit him in spots it was not nice.
Oh no.
Now, Bernard Hill, who plays Theoden, had to get 3 stitches on his ear after his assistant accidentally hit him in the head with a sword while doing a practice scene.
So many accidents on this one.
A lot of injuries. In between takes, Viggo Mortensen would run off to fish whenever he could between setups. He was just...
Oh, I've seen videos of that.
Viggo, are you on screen? No! He's running away.
I mean, what else are you going to do, Just sit around. It's not like cell phones were really that big at the time, like smartphones at least, so...
There's video of him just sitting there fishing. He goes, they're probably going to call me back any minute now. Should probably get ready.
What if he was like in the middle of reeling in like this huge ass fish and they're like, we gotta go.
And for our final fact for today, Blue is going to like this one because it's funny and about alcohol. Orlando Bloom is a lightweight at drinking, to the point where Elijah Wood could probably handle more alcohol than him, according to Dominic Meyer.
That's really funny, especially when you think of like their characters too. It's like an elf versus a hobbit. It's like, yeah, that's pretty funny.
Get fucking wrecked.
Isn't there a scene in the extended edition about Legolas drinking and he's not okay after like one drink?
No, I watched the extended version. I didn't see that.
Interesting. There's must be a deleted scene then, because there's behind the scenes. There's behind the scenes of Legolas or Orlando Bloom like saying lines as Legolas on camera, being like, I feel tingly. What's going on with my body? What is this strange contraption? Kind of like that.
That's
nice.
And those are all my facts for today.
Thank you.
Good job.
And this isn't a fact that we've confirmed, but this was a video I shared with my wonderful co-host here earlier today. There was some sort of story that Frodo never actually knew Legolas's name in the film.
All right, you keep your secrets.
But definitely that was very entertaining to watch. I'm not really going to elaborate from here on. I just think it was hilarious for us. But yes, thank you, Isaiah. Those were some wonderful facts. I'm glad to know that Orlando Bloom cannot hold his liquor.
Legolas the lightweight. Now, let's dive into this, shall we?
No one's British. Why are you doing a British accent?
I don't know. Get off my
I don't know.
back, man. Trying to keep everyone on their toes, okay? First off, again, I am watching the extended versions. Turns out I've never seen the extended versions. This whole time, my whole life, I thought I had.
That's interesting.
Definitely hadn't. Yeah. There was a lot of scenes, especially in this one. Maybe like the third one I watched the extended version or something, or the first one. But like this one, there was a lot of scenes that I was like, I do not remember this. Some were really good. Some were really dumb. So I'm not going to get too much into those scenes just because not a lot of people watch the extended version, because this one was fucking 4 hours long. And it took me 4 days to get through it because I just didn't have 4 hours of spare time. So I had to like divvy it up.
Oh, wow. You watched the season of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So let's start with the, I guess the pros here. So I want to start by saying that even though this is the second movie in the trilogy, and usually in most cases with trilogies, the second film tends to do the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Or the one before the finale, basically, like with Mockingjay. It's like the one before Mockingjay Part 2 was bad, but Mockingjay Part 2 was good. You know, like that's usually the case. Except Empire Strikes Back is really good. I went into it kind of totally forgetting that the Battle of Helms Deep was in this one. I always, for some reason, think it's the third one. They always mush together. I think we talked about that in one of our previous episodes with, I want to say it was Danny. Yeah, I kind of just forgot. And that is like one of the best battles. I think Isaiah has a different opinion than me, but it's one of my favorite battles in any movie. I just love the action and like the creativity that went behind it, the making and the process behind like all the visual and physical effects. And it's not, I mean, yes, most of it is CGI or at least half and half, but it's so good. And like the banter between Legolas and Gimli during that whole sequence is so fucking funny. I love their dynamic throughout the whole trilogy, but like it really shines through during the Battle of Helms Deep with their like having this pissing contest with who can get the most kills. I don't know why. I'm sure I talked about this in the last one, and I will keep pushing it. I'll probably talk about it in the next episode too. But the soundtrack, dude, especially when they're at Rohan and it's that little like violin thing that's like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That one's so good. That one gets me in the feelings. I feel like it's like the most, I wouldn't say recognizable, obviously, because there's more recognizable ones, but it definitely is one that like gives me gushy feelings inside. I regret saying that.
Okay.
Now, in the one thing I do want to mention that is not in the original version and is in the extended version is that they state Aragorn's age. Did not know that he was fucking 87 years old.
Wasn't it because of like elven magic or something like that? Like he wasn't gonna live forever, but he was.
It was his bloodline.
Yeah.
He's like one of the like slow aging men or whatever. But I did not know that. So when he's talking with Eowyn about it, I was like, what the fuck? It's just allowed. I will say one of my biggest issues with this film, and it's not even a huge issue because it is a very significant part of the story, is the Ents.
The Ents.
I understand that they're supposed to be slow speaking and boring because Merry and Pippin even are bored by their slow speech and stuff. But oh my God, there were certain parts where I was like, I want to just fast forward through this because it is just so slow paced and it's really like taking me out of everything else that's happening at Helm's Deep. It really takes me out of that. And like, yeah, they do have don't get me wrong, they have a huge part in the story. I mean, they literally attack Saruman's like headquarters and flood the whole area. But like, maybe it was just the extended version might have had more scenes with them, but holy shit, I wasn't sure how much more I could take of them.
I feel like it did because I understand where you're coming from, but the amount of scenes that I watched didn't seem like it was enough to get that.
Okay, then maybe it was the extended version might have had more. I didn't recognize which ones are in the original and which ones were in the extended version, but there's definitely a lot. So I think they added some in there. Obviously, Gandalf the White. Come on, Isaiah. Did you know he was going to come back, or did you not?
No, I didn't know he was going to come back. Well,
really,
I suspected so because I was like, oh wait, I know there's more that he does, and if he died in the first movie, all that stuff that he's going to do, he's got to come back at some point. I didn't know when. I just knew he had to come back at some point. But I didn't know that it was going to turn into like not a different character, but like the Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White are two different types of
like two different forms. He's evolved.
I didn't know it was going to be like that. I thought if he's going to come back, it would just be Gandalf again. But
yeah, no, I think I really like his character in this movie, even though it's very short lived. It's not really he doesn't really play a huge role. He plays a bigger role in the first one.
Yeah, he kind of does just go, all right, guys, survive till
the 5th day. Yeah. And then also Gollum, come on. Like, his especially in this one. I mean, he's in all three, obviously, but he's just in this one is so good because it's like, yeah, you get to see from Frodo's perspective of like this troubled person that's deep down inside that literally is just taken over by the ring. And it's like you start to kind of pity him and like feel bad for him, even though he's a monster, as Sam would say, or Samwise. And I just really like his, I wouldn't really say it's a character arc because he kind of regresses back into Gollum towards the end of the film. But his character's so complex and he's so, who's the fucking actor? Why am I blanking on his name?
Andy Serkis?
Yes, thank you. He does it so well. It's just so good. And I can't think of any other person that could play Smeagol.
The goat.
Yeah, and execute it as well. Like he is the goat. Yeah. So I give it a 4 out of 5. I would give it a 3.5, but the Battle of Helms Deep really just takes the cake. So I think I gave the first one a 4.5. So this feels okay to give a 4.
Touche.
Yeah.
Touche.
Lewis, what did you think?
So before I actually get into my thoughts, I wanted to share that when I went to rewatch The Two Towers,
No.
when I went to rewatch The Two Towers,
No.
my HBO is sometimes set up in Spanish.
Oh no.
Like I didn't hear it right away. It took a few like lines, and then finally I hear Gandalf say, "You shall not pass," but in Spanish, and that just took me out. You know what I mean? Like I was like, "Hold up, why is this? What?"
That's so funny.
But from there, I actually have a very similar opinion to what Beth said, and this was one of those movies that I actually watched when I was younger. I don't want to say it's like when I was young, like when I watched Star Wars, but this is one of those movies that I watched when I was younger, probably like 10 or 11. It was it was part of my introduction to Lord of the Rings in general. I actually really enjoyed it. I also agree that it's not common for sequels or like the second movie in a trilogy to really be the good, if it's going to be good at all. But I definitely agree that this one,
it's strong.
Yeah, it is a strong film on its own. And then Helm's Deep, the Battle of Helm's Deep, as well as the fight at Isengard, really take the cake for me in terms of like the action throughout The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogies. For like some of the better scenes, I guess is what I would say. And I also haven't seen the extended editions, so I haven't, seen some of these other scenes you talk about with the Ents, but I could kind of relate to that.
It's 4 hours of not that many. There's like I think there's one good extended version or extended scene that was added that I remember. That is just some funny banter between Legolas and Gimli that I was like, yeah, they didn't need to add that into the actual original one. And I get why it's extended, but I just love any banter between the two of them.
Yeah. Oh, they're hilarious. The Battle of Helm's Deep, I would agree, is definitely one of those. As far as the action movies I've seen, battles I've seen, even war movies, that sort of thing, I would say I would rank Helm's Deep among like the top 5 of battles I've seen played out on screen. Mm-hmm. Isaiah's facts, I think, add to that, knowing how much went into filming it.
So much time.
And also like the fucking swordsmith, 3 to 5 business days per sword. I also give it a 4 out of 5.
Intriguing.
Okay. Isaiah, what are your thoughts? I'm curious.
So my thoughts are,
oh boy,
guys, you're not gonna
according to your letterboxd.
I'm kidding. So Gandalf is badass.
Oh yeah.
Opening of this movie.
Yeah, he is.
Great. Amazing. Perfect. Beautiful. Like, I don't know. You just can't. That was just an amazing sequence. You can't top that. And then him being like, yeah, so I fought him for like 5 days straight. And then, and then I came back from the depths of hell. How you doing? It's like,
that's nothing.
Right. Thank you, Gandalf. And then as the movie went on, I didn't realize that was Carl Urban at first. And then it was like, is that Carl Urban? And then he took his helmet off. I was like, oh my God, it's Carl Urban. I did not expect to see him in his movie. So that was funny. And then I realized as the movie went on, right, as Gollum and Sam and Frodo were doing their journey and having their arc, I thought to myself, wait a minute, a journey where an item slowly corrupts the holder. That's the Horcrux. Harry Potter stole this.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling, looking at you.
A little sus.
Little sus, little thief. Anyway.
You trifling bitch. Sorry. Isaiah and I were texting earlier, and I was like, I'm going to start using that word more because I really like how it rolls off the tongue. Trifling bitch. Anyways.
Now, Smeagol talking to himself with Gollum and the changing of camera angles and
so good.
him in the water. It's so good. Andy Serkis, again, you just can't top him.
I feel like I can quote that entire scene. You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you. That was not my Smeagol.
No, but the fact that it kind of just goes back and forth, and the way they show the difference between Smeagol and Gollum, and how there is two different versions of him, kind of fighting for control, or that there's two personalities in there. It didn't. They could have just had him just had the camera look at him, and he just like looks in different directions. But they went through and decided to do something more. Like they didn't half-ass it, and I can appreciate that. One of the gripes I do have with the movie, though, is that Aragorn kind of shows the princess, like Theoden's daughter, some compassion, like one time, and suddenly she's like, "Oh my god, I'm in so much love. Oh my god!" And then we have to have a love triangle. And I'm like, okay, don't need this. This is so stupid. Why? All he does is look at her and be like, "Oh, you can fight."
I mean, granted, if I looked at Aragorn, I think I'd fall in love with him too.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen Viggo Mortensen?
I know.
What do you call it? Viggo Mortensen is a beautiful man, but we need more plot.
He really is.
She saw his sword. You know what I mean?
I wonder how big his dick is. Sorry. Just say it.
So, yeah, no, it's just, she was like, "Oh, you can fight? I'm not going to stop you. I'll see you in the battlefield." And I was like, "Oh my God. Oh, swooning." Okay. Chops to the sound design. They made sure to keep the sound of hitting rain metal, like hitting the metal armor. Like whoever's in charge of the sound design, superb job. He thought of they thought of every single damn thing. However, there's a lot of things. Now it's the middle episode, right, of the trilogy. It is kind of hard to avoid that feeling that you were talking about earlier, like that it is kind of a filler episode because they are setting stuff up.
Yeah, it's literally just setting everything up. The first one establishes, the second one sets up, and the third finishes.
The third one pays off. And it's hard to get. Obviously, it's hard to get past that because it's just what the movie is.
Yeah,
it's the point of the movie, and so sometimes it does get hard to get away from that feeling of this is just a filler arc. Do I really need to watch this? Why is it 4 hours long when like only 3 things happen? It's hard to avoid that. I still think this movie is it's still good in the sense that it doesn't feel like that the entire time, only at a few moments. Their dedication to practical effects is super admirable because like each and every orc is very unique. They stand out
so
from everybody. Like I forgot which orc. It's the one that wants to eat Merry and Pippin. He's got like
that one's super iconic.
Yeah, he's super iconic. He's got the pointy jaw and all that stuff. And so when he pops up in the other points in the movies, you're like, oh, hey, it's that guy. Like you can tell, which is kind of one of the big reasons, like for the Hobbit, right? They're mass CGI. Everybody looks the same. You can't tell who's who. The only reason you can tell who's the bad guy is because he is literally white and stands like 2 feet taller than everybody else.
Yeah, and also doesn't have an arm. Yeah.
So I give this movie a 4 out of 5 because it's still pretty damn good.
Hell yeah, brother.
I think it did a pretty good job at what it was trying to do. And I think I gave the first movie a 4 out of 5 too. So going strong.
Going strong.
Going strong.
See how the last one goes, I guess. All right. Well, do you guys have anything else you want to add before we sign off?
Well, I would like to take a moment to share something with the audience, of course.
Just went through all the emotions.
So, as we mentioned earlier in the episode, we said we had some important news. If you've been listening into some of the episodes, you've noticed that I've mentioned that I will be starting a master's degree to become a licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. I don't think I've mentioned that particular set of words, but I have said I'll be starting a master's degree.
Or I've heard us say, Luz is our therapist now.
Yeah. My family said the same thing too. When I told them that I was accepted and everything, they're like, "Oh, everyone gets a therapist now." I was like, "I can't treat any of you, but you are certifiably crazy.
You're all batshit."
the point being, I will be starting my master's degree in a few weeks, and due to working a full-time job, starting a full-time master's, and other things in my life, I will have to take a step back from the podcast for the time being. Hopefully, I can return in the future, but it's also possible I might not. So you'll be listening to Beth and Isaiah and any other guests they'd like to have on the show for the upcoming future episodes. My last episode will actually be our Return of the King episode. And
Yeah, next week.
and I will still be contributing from behind the scenes to at least the Big Lou's Big Brews, that I hope they will maybe either switch off or they'll have random guests read it off, because that would be even funnier to watch.
Yeah.
But in any case,
hopefully we can do as well as you can with that segment.
I'll be
It's a
helping
lot
you
of
guys out.
pressure.
No, it's all right. You'll be fine. Anyway, that's my message, my important news for the podcast. It's been
we're
a
sorry
pleasure.
to end on a somber note here.
Yes, but it's been a pleasure to be a part of this project so far, and I'm hoping I can come back and also watch it flourish while I'm gone.
Well, you're not allowed back. Like I said, I hold grudges. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
You're right.
Yeah. So unfortunately, like Lewis said, next week is going to be his last episode with us for who knows how long, kind of indefinitely. But
foreseeable
thank
future.
you. Yes. Thank you, Lewis, for being a part of this show. It's really nice having you here. No, I'm just kidding.
Get the hell out. We don't want you here.
Too many people abandoning me. I need to talk to my therapist. Yeah.
Another thing you're gonna have to solve in therapy.
Yeah. Can I talk to you about you?
In theory, yes.
But yeah, so anyways, enough jokes. Seriousness now. Yeah, thank you for being a part of the show and bringing your alcoholism to us.
Been my
and
pleasure.
Giving us your layman thoughts on our movies.
Oh, absolutely.
On that note, we're going to just be sure to follow us on social media at Silver Screen Sips. Our listeners episode is coming up very soon, and we have some special guests coming on for that episode. So be sure to email us Disney-related movie suggestions. It doesn't have to be strictly Disney. It can be Pixar. It can be Disney Channel, just as long as it's Disney-owned. So Marvel and all that good stuff is also totally allowed. We already have a lot filing in, but please send more because we're going to have quite a few guests on the show. So we need a couple to choose from. You can send those at our email, which is silverscreensips@gmail.com. And we will see you guys next week with our season finale of Return of the King and the loss of Big Lou.
Big Lou.